So, what if I told you that everything we thought we knew about motivating people is really only half the story? Today, we are going to crack the code on employee motivation. We're moving way beyond the old models to uncover what really drives us to do our best work. You know, it's a paradox that can drive any leader completely nuts. You do everything right, you've got fair pay, great perks, a stable workplace, and yet you look around and you still see disengagement. It feels like you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle, right? So let's just call this what it is, the great motivation puzzle. For decades, we've been trying to solve it with, let's be honest, the same old instructions. But maybe, just maybe, we've been missing a few key pieces all along.
You see, to solve any puzzle, you have to start with the clues you already have. And for years, our understanding of what makes people tick at work has been shaped by a handful of foundational models. You know, the ones most of us were taught in school or in management training.
And this brings us to a really critical question. Have we been asking our employees to climb the wrong ladder this whole time? Let's take a look at the traditional maps we've been given to follow.
I'm sure you've seen these before. You've got Maslow, who gave us this idea of a ladder of needs. You got to secure the bottom rungs, safety and belonging, before you can even think about reaching for the top. And then Herzberg came along and kind of split that idea in two. He said some things, like your salary, they just stop you from being unhappy. They don't actually make you motivated. Now, these are absolutely crucial pieces of the puzzle, but here's the thing, they aren't the whole puzzle.
Okay, and here is where we see a huge fundamental shift in thinking. The traditional view, it's all about deficit. What's missing? What rung of the ladder is this person on? But this new perspective, it totally flips the script. It suggests the problem isn't what people lack, but our failure to activate the incredible cognitive tools they already have.
And this leads to a pretty revolutionary idea, a complete reframing of the entire game. The new thinking is actually pretty simple. What if the race is already over? What if you've already won?
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We are so focused on the climb, on getting to the next level, that we completely miss the amazing view from where we are. The real prize, our innate creativity, our empathy, our self-awareness, that's not something we have to earn, it's something we're all born with. Let's break this down, because this table makes the contrast so clear. So instead of Maslow's ladder, which starts from a place of what do I lack, think of it as a human jackpot. It's a prize you've already won. You start from a place of abundance. And this reframes the whole idea of work. It's no longer just a vehicle to climb some corporate ladder. It becomes a venue to invest your winnings.
Okay, so that sounds great, but how do we actually make this practical? Well, the key is understanding that our brain basically has a two-track system for motivation.
This brings us to a new model. And yeah, it's got a long name. The Human Resource Cognitive Evolutionary Framework, or HRCF for short. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but the idea behind it is incredibly powerful. It basically says motivation happens on two separate tracks in our brain, running at the same time, and both of them need to be managed. So here's the whole idea in a nutshell. Track 1 is our ancient primal brain. You can think of it as our internal security guard, constantly scanning for threats. This is the floor of motivation. You have to keep it secure. Then you have Track 2, which is our higher-level aspirational brain. It's the part that's looking for growth and achievement. That's the ceiling, and that's where the magic of real engagement happens.
Managing that primal floor is all about reducing threats. Think about it. If your brain's security system detects instability, like unfair pay or a boss you can't trust, it goes on high alert. And when that happens, all of an employee's mental energy gets diverted to just watching their back. There's literally none left for creativity, innovation, or growth.
But here's the kicker. A secure floor just prevents people from being unhappy. It doesn't actually create motivation. To build that aspirational ceiling, you have to activate our higher-level brain's deep desire for growth. This means designing jobs with real autonomy and purpose. And crucially, it means trusting your employees to use that jackpot of skills they already have to direct their own development. All right, this framework sounds great in theory, but how does it change what we actually do day to day? Let's look at how we can put this new code to work in the real world.
Here's where the rubber meets the road. Just look at team building. Instead of those one-off personality tests, this new approach focuses on creating small, high-trust groups like our ancestral tribes, which satisfies our primal need for belonging. Or take change management. Instead of just throwing data at people, it uses storytelling to soothe our brain's natural fear of the unknown. And for compensation, it recognizes that for our security-obsessed brain, perceived fairness and relative status often matter way more than the absolute number on a paycheck.
So, this all brings us to the final and most important question. This is really the core takeaway. Are you still building ladders, focusing on what you think your team lacks? Or are you creating a space where they can invest the incredible prize they already possess? Honestly, the answer to that one question could change everything.